Hey guys, Jill here from Ask a Vet Tech. Today we're going to talk about everything anal gland expression wise. A lot of people that have dogs have had this issue where you're just hanging out with your pet and all of a sudden they jump off the couch and just scoot across the floor and leave a nice little brown streak. It's unsightly and it smells atrocious. Anal glands need to be expressed usually every 6 months in dogs that need this done. Many dog breeds will express them on their own while they're using the bathroom. As they're going poop, they will express them and you don't have to do anything to help them along. There are a select group of dogs, and I'll leave a list right here so that you know if your dog's on that list, maybe you should be looking into anal gland expression. If you don't feel comfortable doing this at home, definitely don't. Take them to the groomer or take them to your veterinarian and have them do it. If you'd like to save a little bit of money and time, I can teach you how to do this at home. It's quite simple and quite easy. It is stinky, so if you have a gag reflex to really bad smells, maybe just avoid this. Signs showing that they may need their anal glands expressed would be the scoot across the floor, biting or chewing like something is attacking their back end. They'll get they'll be laying there sleeping and all of a sudden just nail their back end. That is a sign that probably there's some uncomfortableness in the anal gland area. Now, let's get to the anal gland expression. Some supplies you're going to need are some rubber gloves, a puppy pad that can absorb or catch the nastiness that's going to come out of the anal gland, a towel for less slippage to lay down below, some Vaseline, which is petroleum jelly, and you can use that, works really well, and some paper towels, or I like to use these wipes that are meant for dogs, and they're sort of like a baby wipe, but they're meant for dogs. I'll leave a link below. If you have somebody that can hold the dog, that's ideal. So what we're going to do, take your hand, if you're right hand dominant, which I am, that's the hand I use to express the glands. So keeping the tail up and out of the way is very, very helpful. And then you're going to take your finger, you're going to insert it into the rectum of the dog. Keeping your thumb out, just need your pointer finger. You're going to go in and you're going to kind of go very slow and kind. Be gentle to your dog at this point. You got lubrication on your fingers, so slowly enter the anus, and then you're going to feel what feels like a grape inside there if the anal gland is full. The grape is the anal gland itself. So what you're going to want to do is take your finger just a little bit past the edge of the grape, so further in. You're going to take your finger and your thumb on the outside, and you're going to just kind of grab the grape, if you will, and gently taking your pointer finger, pushing it toward the leg of the dog, and putting some firm pressure with your thumb to squeeze to release the yuck that's in there. That stuff is going to come out over top of the top of your hand. So that's where a paper towel is handy and a rubber glove for sure. Once you have one side done, take a break, clean the dog off, clean your glove off because you're going to be doing the next side, and the next side's not nearly as easy. Just get a new glove at this point and put some new lube on there. Turn your hand thumb facing down and then insert it into the rectum of the dog. You're going to do the same thing on this side that you did the other side. You're going to feel for that grape, and then you're going to gently put your finger just a little past it, using your thumb on the outside, squeezing and putting gentle pressure until the anal gland expresses. If at this point you see anything that is blood colored or looks like white pus or purulent discharge, it is time to make a trip to your veterinarian. Make sure you take a picture of what you expressed out if you can and show it to your veterinarian. There's probably an infected anal gland and you're going to want to get rid of that infection as quick as possible. The color and the consistency of what comes out of the anal glands can vary greatly, and it did in Charlie on both sides. Each side was a different color. One was a dark black and the other side was more of a gray. Sometimes they're a light brown color, sometimes they're a dark brown color, but if you get blood or pus, that is time to go see the veterinarian because that is an anal gland infection and it was almost an impaction. Now let's talk about anal gland impaction. Impaction is where you try to express it and nothing comes out. The dog is very uncomfortable and you've given it enough squeeze and nothing's coming out. You do not want to squeeze any harder than it would take to squeeze a grape. So if you're going to squish a grape, you don't want to squeeze that anal gland any harder than that, because if you do, you could cause it to rupture. Now an anal gland rupture looks a lot like this, where the back end of the dog the gland actually blows out the skin of the dog and everything that's inside of the anal gland leaks out the back of the dog. This causes an open wound and is so uncomfortable for your dog. Catching the anal glands before they become an impaction is the key here. If your dog has recently been ill and they've had some diarrhea, this is a good time to think about checking their anal glands. If there's been a diet change where you've switched dog foods, switched the type or consistency of the dog food, sometimes that creates an issue with the anal glands, and those need to be expressed at that time, just because it causes looser stool, and looser stool causes anal gland impaction. Charles needs his anal glands expressed every 3 months, usually. He doesn't move as much as most dogs because he has a heart condition and he is a lazy little butt. Aren't you? Yeah, you lazy little butt. Why do they scoot? They scoot to hopefully relieve the pressure and the pain that is being caused by the pressure from the anal gland being full. Back in the day, wild animals would use the anal gland's scent to mark a territory that belonged to them. Well, our dogs now live on the couch. They have no need for the scent gland to be activated or use it to mark their area because, well, we take them all over the place, so their area is everywhere. Does it hurt when they express their anal glands? It can. I mean, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it's not comfortable. There's something pushing on the tissue of the anus, and it causes them to have pressure and fullness that is irritated and sore, and every time you bump it, it hurts. You can release the pressure that's inside of it. So it's basically like a balloon. And once you squeeze it out, it's empty, right? So that being said, once you release the pressure, it no longer hurts or is irritating. Will my dog bite me when I express their anal glands? I mean, they could. It's something not natural that you do to them. I do have a video about how to put a muzzle on a dog correctly. And if you're interested in that, I'll leave it linked below so that you can find that and use that if you need to. If a muzzle is not put on properly, they still can bite you through it. So learning how to do it correctly is best. This is how veterinarians and veterinary technicians express anal glands. The groomer does it totally different. They're legally not allowed to enter the anus of the dog. They're supposed to express them from the outside, placing a finger near the anal gland and just kind of squeezing. They will get some stuff out, but they usually can't completely empty the anal sac. So just keep that in mind. If your dog is prone to this, then the external expression can help, but getting him completely empty definitely is what you want to do. So here are a few examples of things that we would not want you to try to express at home. I would like it if you would take your dog to the vet if you ever see anything like this, or things hanging off of the anus. So I really hope that Charlie and I helped you out today, and I hope that you learned something new. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and if you haven't seen my latest videos, please check them out. Check out the animal playlist. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, I'm here for you. You're here for your pet. Have a great day.